So you want to wrap it around like that, and then boom. So at this point you have a coil. Usually this would be longer and that would be a little shorter, but I'm trying to do this a little quickly. Only thing you want to keep in mind when you're making the coil is to keep the things close together. When you wrap it around, try not to overlap them and try not to make huge gaps between them. That'll cause inconsistencies in your rings. So you want to get this, cut off that little thing, and then, so you get that. Now what some people will do is they'll just go at it. They'll take their pliers and they'll cut off a ring like this, just right there. They'll just cut it like that. But I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of distorts the ring a little bit, and it also leaves this kind of little V thing at the end, and it makes it hard for your rings to be of consistent quality. What I like to do is I use what I call the score and break method. What you do is you just go like that, find it, squeeze it, and then you clip it there with your pliers, and you kind of just break it off. And that's a good example of bad technique right there, because I didn't score it enough, and that's also going to deform a ring. So that's 2 bad rings in a row. Let's try this again. So you want to make sure you squeeze hard enough. That one should work. And then it just, yeah, and that works, because you get 2 kind of vertical cuts. I'll show you. When you just cut it normally, if these are the 2 ends of the wire that you just cut, normal it'll look something like that, and that. But with the score and break method, the rings are like that. So then when you close it, it'll work a lot better. As you can see, the ring joints will be smoother. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay. And you have another option if you don't want to spend all this time making rings, because it does take up a little bit of time. Then you can just buy them from stores. There's one online store, theringlord.com. They seem to have a lot of products. I haven't actually bought anything from them, but it seems to be good. And I think it's definitely cost effective. They make them very quickly, and they make very good rings. They're saw cut, and so they're even straighter than the score and break method. But at this point, you're going to want to plan your project. What I mean by that, you want to know how many rings you're going to need, and how many open and how many closed you're going to be using. So what I do is I just take a bunch of rings out of my jar, old A&W can, and just pour them onto the table like that. Now, depending on what you're doing, you can organize them. Like if you're going to make a European 4-in-1 weave, I like to start, it'll show like that, and like that, and there. And that's a basic planning, because you'll see that means this ring will be open, and these 4 I will have to close. This one will be open, and these 4 and these 2 will have to be closed, and so on. And that helps me plan it. And that way I know I'm going to need 3 open rings for that, and 8 closed ones. I hope I added that right. Of course, right now I'm working on a half Persian. That's a chain, and it's convenient because you just need 2 open, 2 closed. Or actually, it's just 1 and 1. And so you just sort them into your 2 piles. Just kidding, I'm not going to do that right now. I already did. And so here you see all of these rings are going to need to be opened for what I'm doing now. And then I already closed these ones. Okay. So first thing, when you're opening, you want to make sure you're, here's an example. So you have two choices when you're opening. You can kind of grip them like that, and there, and you can open them like this. And that's kind of, I don't want to say the right way, but I think it's the best way to do it. Or you can do it like this, where you grab them like that, and you pull them apart. But I think that kind of distorts the ring and makes it kind of an oval shape, and that's not good. Don't like to do that. And so you also want to make sure you're opening them right way for your weave, and it's more of a convenience thing than you have to do it. But like this one, I want to open it like this, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a bit. So, okay, I apologize about that, but my memory card just got filled up. So now we're going to move on to closing rings, and I'm hoping you can see that pretty well. That's what it looks like when you just cut it off the coil. So what I like to do is first I push them past each other like this. I'll grip it like that. Just ever so slightly push them past each other, just like that. Now when you're doing that, you want to be careful in case there's little burrs sticking out on either side that might catch on the other one, and then they get stuck. And there's a good chance that eventually they'll both give way and they'll just crush the ring. If that happens, then there's probably no salvaging the ring. Just throw it away. It's worth less than 1 cent, so it's not a big loss. Then what you do is you grab here and here, and you kind of, then you just kind of pull them back into there, like that, kind of like a macro alignment. And yeah, so what you want to do after you do that, you take it and you feel each side of the ring. That's smooth, no burrs. Smooth, no burrs. And then the top, it had a little bit of a burr, and that means that this side is a bit higher than this side of the ring. So then you grab it with your pliers like that, and you kind of squish it down a little bit, feel it again, and that's pretty good. So I put that in my closed ring pile. And then you keep doing that and you keep doing that until you have both your piles done. Now before I mentioned opening your rings the right way for what you want to do, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So here are 2 rings that I opened, I think that's the right way, yeah. And then I have my weave that I'm going to be working on, and that is a half Persian 3-in-1. Very cool weave, by the way. So for that you need 1 open ring, 1 closed, and 1 open. So I'm going to place this one under here, and now here's my ring open the right way. It just slips into there, you see? A little hard to see, I admit. It just kind of goes like that. Now if I opened it the wrong way, like say this one, which will be opened the wrong way very soon, bear with me, like that, then it's harder to do that, you know? You try to look around, you flip it over, and you're like, wait a minute, it's the same thing. And so that's just a little thing you're going to want to think about when you're making it. For the weaves like the European 4-in-1, which way the ring is open won't matter, but in this one it does, because it just slips right in there, and that's convenient. Okay, and that's it. I hope you guys have fun making your rings.